credit for composer Michel Legrand. The credit calls into question the end of the Godard-Legrand collaboration, which resulted in 4 films prior to this one. Since Band of Outsiders, Legrand has gone on to compose music for well over 100 films, including only one more collaboration with Godard. As this credit claims graphically, the film is Jean-Luc Godard, and vice versa.
T'as peur? Tu t'imagines que les gens ont des rayons X dans les yeux?
This line of dialogue comes from the crime club novel Fool's Gold by Dolores Hitchens, published in 1958, from which Band of Outsiders was adapted. It was printed in France that same year as Pigeon Vol, part of the popular série noire crime fiction series. Godard was allegedly introduced to the book by his friend François Truffaut, who directed Shoot the Piano Player, based on another série noire title. From The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. This musical by Jacques Demy premiered just as Godard was beginning to shoot Band of Outsiders. Godard begins his tale in a style similar to Raymond Queneau's novel Odile, which opens with the words, "As this story begins." The novel is a humorous roman à clef, which includes characters based on Louis Aragon, André Breton, and other writers from the Surrealist movement, of which Queneau himself is a former member. Sami Frey is called Franz, as in Franz Kafka. The name was chosen by Godard due to Frey's close resemblance to the influential writer. Surname Rimbaud refers to the influential young poet of the 19th century, Arthur Rimbaud, who renounced poetry at the age of 20 and became a gun runner in Ethiopia. Godard incorporates lines from Rimbaud's poetry into several descriptive moments in the film's narration. Poem titled Les Poètes by surrealist writer Louis Aragon, one of several prominent surrealists thinly disguised in Raymond Queneau's novel Odile. The poem was set to music and recorded in 1961 as J'entends, J'entends by Jean Ferrat. His attempt to win Odile back includes an impression of Loopy de Loop, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon character created in 1959. Loopy always gets into trouble because no one can understand his thick French accent. It's one of several references Godard makes to American pop culture. That guy Odile refers to is André Malraux, then Minister of Culture, who had recently launched a program to restore major monuments and neighborhoods of Paris. Ironically, 4 years later, Malraux incurred the wrath of the international film community when he removed Henri Langlois as head of the legendary Cinémathèque Française.
Anglarès ouvrit la bouche et raconta une émouvante, stupide et sombre histoire.
This is one of the most complex references Godard makes in Band of Outsiders. Franz appears to be reading from Raymond Queneau's novel Odile, but in fact, this moving, stupid, and somber tale Franz tells was recalled by André Breton in his autobiographical novel Nadia. To make matters more complicated, Godard credits the story to Anglarès, which is the name of the character based on Breton in Queneau's Odile. This entire commentary is a montage of images from the poetry of Arthur Rimbaud, after whom the role of Arthur is named.
Est-ce qu'il y a des lions au Brésil?
Oui, et aussi des crocs, Odile.
The final scene on the boat is an homage to the look of Charlie Chaplin's 1917 classic, The Immigrant. In an interview from 1964, Jean-Luc Godard confirms, Cinephiles will notice that the last scene in the movie is a scene from The Immigrant. We duped the shot so we could get some grain. The dog was there completely by chance, and I had a lot of trouble making him stay.
Mon histoire.